Have you ever wondered why you wake up so many times during the night just to go to the bathroom? You close your eyes hoping for a full night of rest, only to find yourself tossing the covers off again and again and again. One trip to the bathroom, then two, then three, and by morning, you feel more tired than when you went to bed. Maybe your doctor told you it's just a normal part of getting older. Maybe your friend said, it happens to all of us. But what if it's not just about age? If you're over 65 and waking up more than 3 times a night to urinate, your body could be trying to tell you something important. While occasional nighttime urination might seem harmless, frequent trips to the bathroom at night, a condition called nocturia, can be a sign of deeper health issues. It might be related to something as common as your daily habits, or it could be pointing to something more serious, like diabetes, heart issues, kidney problems, or an enlarged prostate. The good news is, you're not alone, and there are ways to understand what's happening inside your body. In today's video, we'll explore the hidden reasons why so many seniors experience frequent nighttime urination, and why it's not something to ignore. We'll talk about what's normal, what's not, and how to tell the difference. You'll learn what to watch for, when to talk to your doctor, and what small changes could actually help you sleep better and protect your health at the same time. So if you're someone who's been quietly struggling with broken sleep or exhaustion in the morning, or even embarrassment about how often you have to go, this video is for you. You deserve to understand what's happening, and you deserve a better night's sleep. And sometimes that understanding starts with one simple question. Why is this happening so often? Let's find out together. I know you are a person who likes to watch videos quietly. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, now is a good time to do it because you are a kind person. If the video is helpful, press 1. If the video is not good enough or needs improvement, press 2. Thanks everyone. Now let's get started. Number 1. What is nocturia and why it matters after 65? When Mr. Frank, 74, started waking up 3 or 4 times a night to use the bathroom, he didn't think much of it. That's just what happens when you get older, he said with a shrug. But after several months of broken sleep, growing fatigue during the day, and a few moments of lightheadedness in the morning, he began to wonder if something more was going on. Like so many older adults, Frank had never heard the word nocturia before. Yet it was affecting his nights, his energy, and even his confidence. So what exactly is nocturia, and why should you care about it after 65? Nocturia is the medical term for waking up 1 or more times during the night to urinate. While it might sound simple or harmless, it's more than just an inconvenience. For many older adults, it becomes a nightly disruption that affects sleep quality, brain function, balance, and overall well-being. And while getting up once per night might be normal, waking up 2, 3, or more times can be a red flag, especially if it wasn't always that way. You see, when we sleep, our bodies are supposed to shift into a more restful, healing state. That includes reducing urine production, allowing the bladder to hold more, and helping us sleep through the night without needing to go. But when something interferes with this system, whether it's a medical condition, a medication, or even a lifestyle factor, the balance is thrown off and we start waking up more frequently. For some, this starts slowly, going from once per night to twice, then 3 times. For others, it becomes a sudden change, and they're unsure what caused it. After the age of 60, nocturia becomes more common, but that doesn't mean it's harmless. In fact, frequent nighttime urination has been linked to increased risk of falls, daytime fatigue, memory issues, and even depression in older adults. Imagine how hard it is to function fully when your sleep is constantly interrupted. Your brain doesn't get enough deep rest, your muscles don't recover, your mood changes. Over time, this can lead to a cycle of tiredness, inactivity, and worsening health. Another concern with nocturia is that it's often a symptom, not a cause. It might be your body's quiet way of telling you something is off. For example, your kidneys might be working overtime, your heart might be holding on to fluid, or your blood sugar may be too high. And yet many people ignore these signs because they've accepted nighttime bathroom trips as a normal part of aging. But here's the truth. Normal aging does not have to mean poor sleep, and waking up more than once or twice every night should never be brushed aside without looking deeper. In addition, nocturia can increase your risk of falls at night, especially if you're getting up in the dark, feeling groggy, or dealing with balance issues. Just one misstep on the way to the bathroom can lead to a serious injury, and for seniors, falls are one of the leading causes of hospitalizations and loss of independence. That's why understanding nocturia isn't just about sleep. It's about safety and long-term quality of life. For Mr. Frank, learning about nocturia changed his approach. Instead of accepting it as just part of getting old, he talked to his doctor, made some small adjustments to his diet and fluid intake, and began monitoring how often he was waking up. The result? He reduced his bathroom trips by half and started feeling more energized during the day. Most importantly, he began to see his sleep as something worth protecting. So if you've been waking up more than once a night, and especially if it's been happening more often than it used to, don't ignore it. Your body's trying to tell you something. And the sooner you understand what nocturia really is, the sooner you can begin to take back control of your nights, your rest, and your energy. In the next part, we'll explore one of the most common, but often hidden, reasons why older adults wake up multiple times to urinate. Blood sugar imbalances. Let's move on to number 2. Could it be diabetes? How blood sugar affects the night urination. Number 2. Could it be diabetes? How blood sugar affects the night urination. At first, Mr. Thomas didn't think much of it. He was 70 years old, still relatively active, and aside from waking up 3 or 4 times a night to urinate, he felt fine. His doctor had once mentioned that his blood sugar was a little high, but since he wasn't on medication and didn't feel sick, he figured it wasn't a big deal. But over the months, his sleep grew more broken. He started feeling tired during the day and noticed that he was constantly thirsty, not just in the evening, but all day long. That's when his daughter encouraged him to go back for a full checkup. The results were clear. Thomas had type 2 diabetes, and his body had been giving him signs for quite some time, especially through those frequent trips to the bathroom at night. Many people don't realize that frequent urination, especially at night, is often one of the earliest signs of diabetes, particularly in older adults. When your blood sugar levels are too high, your kidneys work overtime to filter and remove the excess glucose from your blood. This process pulls water from your body, producing more urine. The result? You feel the urge to urinate more often, during the day and especially at night, when the body naturally slows down and tries to correct imbalances. For seniors, this cycle can be even more intense. The body's ability to regulate fluid and sugar becomes less efficient with age. So if blood sugar isn't well managed, the kidneys can become overwhelmed. This leads not only to nocturia, nighttime urination, but also to dehydration, increased thirst, and sometimes dizziness or weakness, especially when standing up at night. Worse yet, many older adults don't realize this is happening because the symptoms build slowly and are easy to attribute to just getting older. Type 2 diabetes in seniors is especially tricky because it doesn't always come with the classic symptoms you hear about: dramatic weight loss, constant hunger, or blurry vision. Instead, it often shows up as fatigue, poor sleep, and yes, multiple bathroom trips during the night. And if left unchecked, high blood sugar can silently damage organs over time, including the kidneys, eyes, heart, and nerves. But here's the encouraging news. Identifying diabetes early can make a big difference, and the first clues are often hidden in something as simple as your sleep pattern. If you're waking up more than twice a night to urinate, especially if you also feel very thirsty, have dry mouth, or notice changes in energy, it's worth talking to your doctor about checking your fasting glucose or A1C levels. These are simple blood tests that can show how your body is handling sugar over time. There are also small habits that can make a big difference. For instance, reducing sugar intake at dinner, avoiding late-night snacks, and drinking water earlier in the day rather than close to bedtime can ease pressure on your kidneys at night. Some seniors also find that light physical activity after dinner, like walking or stretching, helps their body regulate blood sugar better overnight. For Mr. Thomas, learning about the connection between his nighttime urination and diabetes was a wake-up call. "I thought I was just getting old," he said. "I didn't know my body was trying to get my attention." With help from his doctor and a few changes to his diet and routine, he was able to reduce both his blood sugar and his nighttime bathroom visits, and finally started sleeping through the night again for the first time in years. So if you find yourself up and down all night, don't assume it's just what happens with age. Your body may be whispering that something deeper is going on, and sometimes all it takes to hear it is a little curiosity and the willingness to ask the right questions. In the next part, we'll explore another lesser-known cause of nighttime urination: your heart. Yes, your heart might be contributing to your midnight wake-ups. Let's move on to number 3. The heart connection. Is your heart waking you up? Number 3. The heart connection. Is your heart waking you up? When Mrs. Eleanor, 76, started waking up 3 or 4 times every night to use the bathroom, she assumed it was just part of aging. She had no burning, no urgency, no pain, just the constant urge to go. Her doctor checked for urinary tract issues, but everything came back normal. She cut back on evening water and caffeine. Nothing changed. It wasn't until her cardiologist asked a surprising question: "Are your ankles swollen by the end of the day?" that the pieces began to fall into place. Eleanor hadn't thought much of the mild swelling in her legs, but her heart had been quietly sending her messages all along. And one of them was through her frequent nighttime urination. What most people don't realize is that your heart and your bladder are more connected than you think. When the heart doesn't pump blood as efficiently, something that becomes more common after age 60, fluid can begin to pool in the lower parts of your body during the day, especially in your legs and ankles. This condition is called congestive heart failure, CHF, or sometimes just fluid retention. You may not feel short of breath or have chest pain, so it's easy to miss. But at night when you lie down, gravity shifts. The fluid that had been pooling in your legs during the day is now redistributed and sent back toward the kidneys, which interpret the sudden increase in blood volume as a signal to make urine. The result? You wake up multiple times to go, not because of your bladder, but because of your heart. This pattern is incredibly common in older adults, especially those with undiagnosed or early-stage heart conditions, and it often goes ignored because the symptoms seem so disconnected. Swollen feet, trouble sleeping, feeling tired during the day, all of those can be signs that your heart is struggling and using your bladder to tell you something is wrong. There are other subtle clues too. Have you noticed yourself feeling more winded when walking upstairs? Do you prop yourself up on extra pillows at night to avoid shortness of breath? Do you sometimes feel a little lightheaded or foggy during the day, even when you've gotten enough sleep? These signs, combined with frequent nighttime urination, are not normal parts of aging. They may be your heart's quiet cry for help. Another aspect that many people miss is the role of blood pressure medications and diuretics, water pills, which are often prescribed to manage heart-related conditions. While these medications are important, they can sometimes lead to excess fluid being expelled during the night, especially if taken later in the day. If you're on medication for your heart or blood pressure and waking up several times to urinate, it's worth reviewing your dosing schedule with your doctor or pharmacist. Simply shifting the timing, for example, taking a diuretic in the morning instead of afternoon, can significantly reduce nighttime bathroom trips. For Mrs. Eleanor, the answer wasn't in her bladder, it was in her circulation. Her doctor explained that her heart, while not in failure, wasn't pumping as strongly as before. The result was fluid retention, and her kidneys were responding just as they should, but at the wrong time of day. With a few adjustments to her medications, some light walking in the evening to help circulate fluid before bed, and reducing salt intake, she was able to reduce her nighttime trips from 4 to 1. "I sleep like I did 20 years ago," she said, smiling. "And I didn't even know it was my heart all along." It's easy to underestimate how interconnected the body truly is. We tend to think in isolated systems: bladder, kidneys, heart, lungs. But the truth is, they all work together. And when one starts to struggle, others pick up the slack. The bladder often becomes the messenger of bigger issues happening elsewhere in the body, and it's up to us to listen. So, if you're over 65 and waking up multiple times a night, especially if you also notice swelling in your legs, shortness of breath, or general fatigue, don't assume it's just your age or bad luck. It could be your heart trying to get your attention. Quietly, gently, but persistently. And like all messages from the body, the sooner you listen, the better your chances of protecting your health long-term. In our next section, we'll talk about a condition that affects nearly half of all older men, and yet most ignore it until it becomes a bigger issue: enlarged prostate. Let's continue with number 4. Enlarged prostate, a silent disruptor in older men. Number 4. Enlarged prostate, a silent disruptor in older men. At 71, Mr. Raymond considered himself healthy. He walked daily, kept his blood pressure under control, and ate fairly well. But there was one thing he couldn't shake. Every night, like clockwork, he woke up to go to the bathroom, sometimes twice, often 3 or 4 times. He chalked it up to drinking too much water, or perhaps the colder weather. But eventually, he noticed other changes too. His stream of urine wasn't as strong as it used to be. Sometimes it felt like he couldn't completely empty his bladder. He had to stand at the toilet longer, sometimes even return just minutes after thinking he was done. That's when his doctor mentioned something Raymond hadn't thought much about: benign prostatic hyperplasia, more commonly known as enlarged prostate. The prostate is a small gland that surrounds the urethra, the tube that carries urine from the bladder out of the body. In younger men, it's about the size of a walnut. But as men age, particularly after the age of 50, the prostate can slowly grow. This growth is usually non-cancerous, but it can still cause serious problems. As the prostate enlarges, it begins to press against the urethra and partially block the flow of urine. The bladder must work harder to push urine out, and over time, this pressure can lead to frequent urges to urinate, a weak stream, a feeling of incomplete emptying, and yes, multiple nighttime trips to the bathroom. This condition, called BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia, affects more than half of all men over age 60 and up to 90% of men over 80. Yet it's surprisingly underdiagnosed, partly because many men either ignore the symptoms or are embarrassed to bring them up. Nighttime urination, or nocturia, is often the first and most persistent sign. So why does BPH make you wake up at night? It's simple. When the bladder can't fully empty during the day, it fills up more quickly. Especially while you're lying down, the bladder becomes more sensitive and more reactive. Even a small amount of urine inside can trigger a strong urge. Combine that with the body's natural fluid shifts at night, and suddenly your sleep is interrupted multiple times. Unfortunately, this leads to poor sleep quality, daytime fatigue, and increased fall risk, especially when you're getting out of bed half asleep in the dark. Mr. Raymond was surprised when his doctor explained all of this. "I thought it was just normal," he admitted. But after a simple prostate exam and a quick questionnaire, the diagnosis was clear. Fortunately, BPH is treatable, and often without surgery. There are medications that can help relax the muscles around the prostate, improving urine flow and reducing urgency. There are also lifestyle changes: reducing caffeine and alcohol, avoiding fluids before bed, and training the bladder with timed voiding. That can make a big difference. In more advanced cases, minimally invasive procedures can shrink the prostate or widen the urethra. These treatments are usually outpatient and come with little recovery time. Most importantly, they help restore quality of life. For Mr. Raymond, starting a daily medication made all the difference. Within 2 weeks, he was waking only once per night instead of 4 times. "I didn't realize how much it was affecting me until I finally slept through the night," he said. "I felt like myself again." It's also worth noting that BPH is not prostate cancer, and having BPH doesn't necessarily increase your risk of developing cancer. However, because the symptoms can overlap, it's important for men to get regular prostate screenings, especially after age 60. A simple blood test, PSA, and digital rectal exam can help catch problems early, whether they're benign or more serious. Many older men suffer in silence, thinking their symptoms are either too minor to mention or too embarrassing to discuss. But urinary health is nothing to be ashamed of. It's a core part of your well-being. Your body deserves restful sleep, and your bladder shouldn't control your night. If you or someone you know is getting up multiple times a night to urinate, and especially if they're also experiencing slow stream, urgency, or the sensation of not fully emptying, it's time to speak up. You don't have to live around the clock of your bladder. There are solutions, simple, effective, and available. In our next section, we'll shift the focus from the bladder to the organs responsible for filtering and controlling urine in the first place. Your kidneys. Could they be the hidden reason behind your nighttime interruptions? Let's continue with number 5, kidney function and why it changes with age. Number 5, kidney function and why it changes with age. At 78, Mr. Charles began to feel that something wasn't quite right. He was waking up more frequently during the night to urinate. Not just once, but 3, sometimes 4 times. He thought it was just part of growing older. After all, his father had the same habit in his later years. But Charles also began noticing swelling in his ankles during the day, and his blood pressure, which had been stable for years, was slowly creeping up. His energy was lower, and his morning routine, once something he enjoyed, now felt foggy and interrupted. When his doctor ran a series of blood and urine tests, the answer became clear. Charles was experiencing age-related decline in kidney function, and his body was trying to manage the overload the best way it knew how, by waking him up to urinate at night. The kidneys are remarkable organs. About the size of your fists, they sit quietly in your lower back, working around the clock to filter waste from your blood, regulate your fluid levels, balance electrolytes, and help control blood pressure. In healthy adults, the kidneys filter nearly 50 gallons of blood each day. But as we age, these incredible organs, like many systems in the body, begin to lose efficiency. After age 60, it's not uncommon for the glomerular filtration rate, GFR, which measures how well the kidneys are cleaning the blood, to gradually decline. This means the kidneys become less effective at concentrating urine and managing fluid retention. One of the first signs of this change often shows up at night. You may find yourself needing to urinate more frequently, even if you haven't increased your fluid intake. Why does this happen? During the day, your body holds on to more water due to activity, gravity, and hormonal changes. But at night, when you're lying down, that fluid redistributes. And if your kidneys are less efficient, they may respond by producing more urine than your bladder can comfortably hold. So you wake up again and again. Another factor is the reduced production of a hormone called vasopressin, which helps concentrate urine at night. In younger people, vasopressin helps reduce urine volume while sleeping, allowing for uninterrupted rest. But as we age, our bodies make less of this hormone, leading to more diluted urine and more frequent nighttime trips to the bathroom. Combined with the kidneys' reduced ability to filter and manage waste, this becomes a frustrating cycle of broken sleep and daytime exhaustion. In some cases, reduced kidney function may be subtle, showing only in lab work, but in others it comes with more visible signs. Swelling in the feet and ankles, changes in urination, such as foamy urine or darker color, high blood pressure, or even increased sensitivity to medications. And for people living with conditions like diabetes or hypertension, the kidneys are under even more stress, meaning the nighttime bathroom trips may not just be annoying, but could be a warning that your kidneys need attention. Mr. Charles was lucky. His kidney decline was still in the early stages, and with a few adjustments to his diet, such as reducing salt and protein intake, along with better blood pressure control and hydration during the day, rather than at night, he was able to support his kidneys and reduce his nocturia significantly. He also began a routine of light daily walking, which helped improve circulation and overall fluid management. "I didn't know my kidneys were involved," he said. "But once I understood the connection, everything made sense." That's the thing with kidney function. It often declines in silence. It doesn't always hurt. It doesn't always show up with bold symptoms. But your body keeps trying to tell you through patterns, and nighttime urination is one of those patterns. It's your body's way of saying, something isn't being filtered properly, or I'm trying to catch up. If you've noticed an increase in nighttime urination, especially if it comes with fatigue, swelling, or changes in your blood pressure or lab results, it's worth having a conversation with your doctor about your kidney health. A few simple tests, blood creatinine, GFR, and a basic urine analysis can reveal a lot. And even better, many early kidney issues can be managed with lifestyle changes before they become serious problems. Taking care of your kidneys isn't about fear. It's about respect. Respecting the work they've done for you for decades. Respecting the warning signs when they come. And respecting your need to sleep, heal, and feel strong. Because your nights and your life are better when your body can rest peacefully. In the next section, we'll shift our focus to something many people overlook. The very medications you take to manage other conditions could be disrupting your sleep and sending you to the bathroom at night. Let's continue with number 6. Certain medications might be making it worse. Number 6. Certain medications might be making it worse. Mrs. Clara, a soft-spoken 79-year-old, had been waking up 3 or 4 times a night for nearly a year. She was always careful about what she drank before bed. No coffee after 3 p.m., no alcohol, even water was limited in the evening. Yet the urge to get up and go to the bathroom still disrupted her nights. Frustrated and tired, she began to wonder if this was just her body's way of aging, until a pharmacist reviewing her medications paused and asked, "Have you noticed this started after you began taking your new heart pill?" It turns out that many common medications, especially those used by older adults, can quietly increase nighttime urination, and often no one tells you about it. As we get older, most of us accumulate a list of prescriptions. Medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, anxiety, sleep, arthritis, and more. While these treatments are often essential for managing chronic conditions, they're not without side effects. One of the most commonly overlooked, nocturia, or frequent nighttime urination. Certain drugs, especially when taken at specific times of day, can increase the amount of urine your body produces, irritate the bladder, or affect how the kidneys process fluids. And when this happens, it's your sleep that suffers. One of the biggest culprits is the class of medications known as diuretics, often called water pills. These are commonly prescribed to control high blood pressure or treat fluid retention, especially in people with heart conditions. They work by encouraging your kidneys to release more sodium and water through urine, which is great for reducing swelling and lowering blood pressure, but not so great if taken too late in the day. Many seniors take their diuretics in the afternoon or evening, not realizing that this can directly contribute to those 2 a.m. bathroom trips. A simple shift, taking the medication in the morning instead, can make a world of difference. Other medications can affect urination in less obvious ways. Some drugs used for depression or anxiety, especially selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, can interfere with bladder control and increase the feeling of urgency. Certain sleep aids or sedatives, ironically, may relax the muscles so much that bladder signals become more frequent or difficult to interpret, leading to confusion or urgency at night. Even some pain medications, particularly those that affect the nervous system, can change how your body responds to bladder fullness. And then there's the combination factor. Many older adults take 5 or more medications daily, and when several of them have urinary side effects, the result can be amplified. Unfortunately, most people are never told to look out for this. The symptoms, frequent urination, urgency, disrupted sleep, are usually blamed on aging or on unrelated conditions like prostate enlargement or diabetes. Rarely does anyone stop to consider that the very pills meant to help might be quietly stealing hours of rest each night. Mrs. Clara's case was a perfect example. She had been prescribed a diuretic and a mild antidepressant within months of each other. Neither seemed directly connected to her bladder at first, but once her doctor adjusted the timing of one and swapped the other for a bladder-friendly alternative, Her nighttime trips dropped dramatically. "I didn't even need new medicine," she said. "Just someone to put the pieces together." If you or someone you love is experiencing frequent nighttime urination and you're taking regular medications, it's worth asking this question. Could one of my prescriptions be contributing to this? Don't stop taking your medications without medical advice, but do bring it up at your next appointment. Ask your doctor or pharmacist if there are alternatives with fewer urinary side effects, or if changing the timing might help. Sometimes that one small adjustment can give you back a full night of sleep. It's important to remember that your body is incredibly smart, but also incredibly sensitive. As we age, the way we metabolize medications changes. Kidneys and liver function slow down. Drugs stay in our system longer. That's why even something that once worked well at 60 may behave differently at 75. Sleep is vital to your health, your memory, your balance, and your mood. If your medications are disrupting it, you deserve to know, and you deserve a better plan. In the next part of our journey, we'll look at a question that often goes unasked. What if your nighttime urination isn't just medical, but behavioral? Could it be something as simple as your routine or habits before bed? Let's move on to number 7. Is it just habit or something more? Number 7, is it just habit or something more? Mr. William, a 73-year-old retired engineer, had seen multiple doctors about his nighttime urination. His lab tests were normal. His prostate was mildly enlarged, but not enough to explain the frequent trips to the bathroom. His kidneys were functioning well, and he wasn't diabetic. He wasn't on any water pills. Still, every night, like clockwork, he would wake up 2, 3, sometimes 4 times. Eventually, a younger nurse asked him, "Can you tell me about your evening routine?" That simple question uncovered a lifetime habit. Every night after dinner, William would sip on a large mug of tea while watching TV, then read in bed with a glass of water beside him, sipping until he turned off the light. He never thought much of it, until he learned that his body wasn't waking him out of necessity, but out of habit. This is more common than you might think. For many older adults, nighttime urination isn't always driven by a medical condition. Sometimes it's the result of patterns and routines that have developed over years, quietly disrupting sleep without anyone realizing the connection. The human body thrives on rhythm. When you repeat a behavior night after night, such as drinking fluids late, dozing in and out of sleep, or responding to even a slight bladder signal, your brain learns to anticipate it. You may start waking up not because your bladder is full, but because your internal clock expects it. The truth is, as we age, our sleep becomes lighter and more easily disturbed. A minor bladder sensation that might not have registered in deep sleep when you were 30 can now be enough to wake you fully at 70. And once awake, the mind often fixates on the need to go, even if the urge is weak. Over time, this becomes a sleep bladder feedback loop. You wake up, go to the bathroom, return to bed, fall asleep again, and repeat. Your body memorizes the cycle. Another habit-based trigger is fluid intake timing. Many seniors unintentionally drink most of their daily fluids in the afternoon or evening, especially if they've been busy during the day or have dry mouth from medications. This puts more strain on the bladder during nighttime hours. Others eat salty meals at dinner, which makes them thirsty later in the evening, leading to more drinking and more urination overnight. And some people, trying to stay hydrated, sip constantly into the night without realizing it's affecting their rest. There's also the role of mental associations. Some people begin to associate the bedroom or lying in bed with the need to urinate, even if they don't feel an urgent need before that moment. This kind of conditioned response, similar to how some people feel the need to check their phone as soon as they lie down, is subtle but powerful. So what can you do if your nighttime urination is partly habit-based? The answer isn't to stop drinking water altogether or ignore your body's signals. It's about gently retraining your brain and body. Try shifting the majority of your fluid intake to the morning and early afternoon, gradually tapering off in the evening. Avoid caffeine or alcohol at least 6 hours before bedtime, as both can irritate the bladder and stimulate urine production. Create a consistent bedtime routine that signals your body it's time to wind down. Perhaps a warm shower, a book, soft music, without late-night fluids. And when you wake up in the night, pause before immediately going to the bathroom. Ask yourself, is this urgency strong or just familiar? For Mr. William, making small changes like cutting off fluids after 7 p.m., skipping his bedtime tea, and doing a gentle meditation before sleep made all the difference. Within 2 weeks, he was waking only once, sometimes not at all. "It turns out I wasn't sick," he said. "I just had a routine that was working against me." Understanding the difference between habit and health is key. Your body remembers what you teach it, and thankfully, it can also learn new rhythms. With awareness and patience, even long-standing habits can be gently shifted to support your rest, not disturb it. In the next section, we'll take everything we've learned so far, from diabetes to heart, prostate, kidney, medication, and habits, and talk about when it's time to stop guessing and seek answers. Let's continue with number 8, when to see a doctor and what tests to ask for. Number 8, when to see a doctor and what tests to ask for. It's easy to brush off nighttime trips to the bathroom as just part of getting older. Most people do, and in many cases, that may be true, to a point. But when it starts happening more than twice a night, or if it begins to affect your sleep, mood, balance, or quality of life, it's time to look deeper. The body doesn't wake you up again and again for no reason. It's speaking, and if we listen carefully, we can often catch small problems before they become big ones. So how do you know when it's time to see a doctor about nocturia? One simple rule is this: if your nighttime urination increases suddenly, becomes more frequent than before, or is accompanied by other symptoms like fatigue, swelling in the legs, increased thirst, burning sensation, or changes in urine color, don't wait. Make an appointment. Start by tracking what's going on. Write down how many times you wake to urinate, what time it happens, and whether anything unusual happened that day, like eating a salty meal, drinking late, or taking a new medication. Bring this information to your appointment. It will help your doctor connect the dots more quickly. Once you're in the office, don't be shy about explaining the impact this is having on your life. Let your doctor know if you're tired during the day, if you're afraid of falling when getting up at night, or if you've started limiting your activities because of poor sleep. These may seem like small details, but they help paint the full picture. Now, what tests should you ask for? First, a urinalysis, a simple urine test that can check for infections, blood, glucose, sugar, and protein in the urine. These clues can point toward infections, diabetes, or kidney issues. Next, consider a blood glucose test or an A1C test to screen for diabetes, especially if you also feel thirsty, have dry mouth, or feel tired more often than usual. For men, especially over 60, a prostate-specific antigen, PSA, blood test may be helpful to check for signs of prostate enlargement or other prostate issues. Your doctor may also perform a physical prostate exam to assess size and sensitivity. If you have high blood pressure or signs of swelling, a basic metabolic panel, BMP, and a kidney function test, especially the glomerular filtration rate, GFR, can tell how well your kidneys are working. If there's any concern about your heart, a chest X-ray, EKG, or echocardiogram may be suggested to rule out heart-related causes of fluid buildup. Importantly, discuss your current medications. Your doctor or pharmacist can help determine if any of your pills might be contributing to nocturia and whether timing or dosage changes could help. This is a step many patients overlook, but often makes a big difference. Seeing a doctor isn't just about getting a diagnosis. It's about getting clarity. When you know what's happening in your body, you can make decisions with confidence. You can sleep better, move better, and live better, because you're not guessing anymore. You're taking charge. In the final part of our journey, we'll bring all the pieces together and talk about how to move forward, how to use what you've learned to regain restful sleep, restore your energy, and reclaim your nights. Let's continue with conclusion. Sleep is healing, and you deserve it. Conclusion. Sleep is healing, and you deserve it. By now, you've seen that waking up multiple times a night to urinate isn't always just a harmless part of aging. It's not something you have to silently accept or just live with. Instead, it's a signal, a message your body's trying to send you. It might be something simple, like drinking too much fluid in the evening, but it might also be something more serious, like early diabetes, an overworked heart, a slowing kidney, or even a reaction to medications you take daily. Whatever the cause may be, what matters most is that you pay attention and start asking the right questions. Sleep is one of the most important healing tools we have. It restores energy, improves memory, strengthens balance, and helps regulate mood and immune function. But when that sleep is broken again and again, especially by frequent trips to the bathroom, the body and mind begin to feel the cost. You might feel more tired during the day, less steady on your feet, and less motivated to do the things you once enjoyed. That's not just about the bladder, that's about your whole quality of life. The good news is, you don't need to fix everything overnight. You don't need to figure it out alone. You've already taken the first step. Learning what might be causing your nighttime interruptions, from diabetes to heart health, prostate changes to kidney function, even small daily habits like evening drinking or medication timing. Each piece matters, and each piece can be adjusted, understood, and improved. If this video has helped you recognize something about your own situation, take that next step. Talk to your doctor. Bring it up at your next appointment. Ask about tests. Ask about your medications. Ask if there's anything you can do differently. And be open to small changes that can lead to big results. Because the truth is, it's never too late to improve the way you sleep, the way you feel, and the way you move through life. You deserve nights of peace. You deserve mornings with energy. And most of all, you deserve to feel that your body is not your enemy. It's your partner. So listen to it, take care of it, and give it the rest it needs to serve you well, today and in the years to come. Thank you for spending time with me today. I hope this video has given you clarity, encouragement, and the reminder that even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, your health is still in your hands. And one small step, even just asking the right question, could lead to deeper sleep and a stronger you. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and haven't yet liked and subscribed, now is the perfect time to do so. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people who need this kind of helpful content. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll always know when a new video is up. Your support truly means the world to us. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.